Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christy, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy. So today is a day where I get to interview a dear friend, and you are getting ready to fall in love with Dr. Tamara Harris-Gilliam. So Tamara is so many fantastic things. She is a wife and a mom and all of the things that go with it, but we're going to talk about all the other things she is. She is a connector. She is a thought leader. She is a coach. She is an educator, an implementation strategist, an orchestrator of humans, an idea generator. She's a leader, a philanthropist, a Delta, the founder of Sorors and Sisters, a thought leader, and she is my friend. Oh, and I forgot to mention she's a cool auntie as well. And today she's our guest on Productive Joy. Welcome, Tam.
Thank you so much, Dr. Christy, my friend. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone.
Hey, so Tamara, I am so excited to have you here, and I know why you're fabulous, but now you need to tell the listeners why they should keep listening. So give them like this 30-second, oh my gosh, yes, I can't wait for this episode.
Okay, so first and foremost, I am so excited to have you guys here with me. I can't wait to tell you about how to be sparkly and how to be glitter. But while I have the mic, just to let you guys know, like you said, I am all of the things, but I am also a dynamic women's leadership advocate. Like, I'm known for my ability to take strategy, take heart, and my coaching, high impact coaching, and put it together to really help deepen the experience of my school leaders that I get to work with, and teachers and district teams. I'm so fortunate to be able to have and be able to do the work that I do. I specialize in cultivating environments where psychological safety unlocks courage. It unlocks clarity and authentic growth. And I'm truly a champion of all learners, children, adults, all learners, and making sure that they have equitable instructional systems. I've guided schools through initiative implementation and curriculum strategy integration, all of those things, building leadership capacity. However, I'm most passionate about empowering women, right? To lead with joy, with confidence, and with purpose. So I do that all while trying to make sure that they feel seen, that they feel valued, and just really inspired to step into their brilliance. Like you do for me all the time, Christy. Thank you.
Well, we are friends for a reason, and we do have similar ways of going about things in terms of wanting to empower people. And you do a beautiful job of that in the education space, but quite honestly, you do it much more outside of the education space. So, women in particular, sorors, if you will, why don't you tell us a little bit about your foundation that you've created to create a sisterhood?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Maybe, I like how you have the forward vision in terms of foundation.
Well, if you're a leader, it's going to be a
Yeah, that's
foundation.
true. That's right. So you're right. So I am the founder of Sorors and Sisters. And just to give you guys a heads up, I am a member of the illustrious, you have to put that on the front, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But I love all sorors from all sororities around, as fraternities too. But this particular event that I created, Sorors and Sisters, is a series of themed events, right, that are designed to engage women from all walks of life in a series of events that are filled with laughter, with fun, with dialogue. But it's designed to promote sisterhood. And if you've ever heard of plenty of Maya Angelou quotes, but there's particularly one that she has about sisterhood and brotherhood. It's not the mutuality of parentage that makes us sisters and brothers. It's the work that we do to be sisterly and brotherly to each other. So this is what I wanted to create through these events, to build positive relationships amongst each other. So do you have to be a sorority sister to join? No. Do you have to have a mutual parentage sibling? No. But Sorors and Sisters is that unique experience that I launched January 16th. Wow, 10 years ago.
Oh my
10 years ago. I did it here in Farmville. Yes, there is actually a place called Farmville. And we had it at a restaurant, a cafe, and the event that year was Sweet 16, like build your vision for 2016. And I went on to host several other sessions since then. I did an uncorked Sorors and Sisters style. It was a wine tasting and wine glass design party. I also did another session, empowered women, empower women. It was a karaoke night. So we were singing at the top of our lungs also while building each other up. And I even did a corporate event with my employer in 2017 during our all hands meeting that we did. And that was wonderful. So thank you for allowing me to share about that.
Of course. And hold on, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, by all means, Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. And a close favorite, Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer.
Okay. You know what? Those are some pretty ambitious songs. Well done. But you know what? You followed the rules. So, in my book, I do talk about everybody can sing karaoke, but not everybody should, right?
Good.
Yeah. Well, but the reality is you just have to be safe, logical, fun, and memorable about it. So safe is sing a song that everybody knows. Pour Some Sugar on Me. And yeah, Living on a Prayer, definitely songs people know. Don't sing Freebird. That's not logical because it takes forever and you're going to feel like you were there forever. So anyway, there is a right way to sing karaoke, and I am sure that you did it. And what I love about you, Tam, and our audience, I'm sure is feeling it, is that you don't know how to approach things without passion. You just lean in. And you are most definitely okay, you froze there for a second. You're back.
I'm sorry.
You were
I'm
cute
back.
while you froze, though. That's what's even better.
Good. That karaoke, right? Memorable.
You were memorable. You were memorable for sure. But what you do is you approach things with passion. And that passion comes through on all sides. Where does that come from? Did somebody teach you that? Is that just part of who you are? What is it?
I think it's a lot of how I came up and just things that shaped my life. I had the privilege of being raised by a village, right? And so I had the opportunity to be influenced by so many people around me. My grandmother, Rosetta, bless her heart. My grandfather, Arthur, bless his heart. And their siblings were my village. And so my passion came from the uncles and aunties that raised me. And I'm fortunate to have one remaining one, and his name is Uncle Pete. He is the liveliest 86-year-old you'll ever want to meet. And I have actually a hard time keeping up with him. But his passion and his drive for life and his determination to just get up every day and just, live life to the fullest has been such an influence on me. His wisdom is beyond this world. So that was been my inspiration, and of course my family.
Right. So your village helped you recognize that when you go at things fully and completely, then great things can happen. I meet people sometimes and I just want to poke them and say, where is your energy? Like, what are you doing? I've never, ever felt that from you, not ever. And that's where that authentic Tam comes from, is that I want to be good at this. I want to do really great things. And it has pushed you to do a lot of things, including get your doctorate. Not recently now. Has it been a year yet? Not quite.
It has been. It has been a year.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was a pretty cool process where you chose to study psychological safety. And the people that are listening are leaders who are looking to create more productive joy and looking to approach things a little differently. Why don't you give us a synopsis of what you discovered about in psychologically safe spaces, people can fill in the blank?
People can feel vulnerable enough to take risk, right? That could completely change the trajectory of their career, their lives, whatever. My particular research I was looking at the how does psychological safety impact the coaching dynamic, right? And so if you're coaching with someone and they have, in fact, that ability to have that safe space and that trust, and it opens up an avenue for them to be vulnerable, to take risk. That could literally change the trajectory of their careers. So that's what psychological safety is. But it's also not groupthink, right? It's not about being comfortable. It's not about agreement, right? It's really, it is a space where that authenticity and that truth must live.
Yeah, it is. And I know you and I have had lots of conversations about psychological safety and what happens in the absence of. And what happens in the presence of. And I think we strive as leaders to create the presence of and not the absence of, for sure. So that leads me to my favorite question, because everybody gets their own answer. And that's in life. It doesn't have to be at work, but in life, if you had to define productive joy, how would you define it?
I am so glad you asked me that question, because I am a podcast listener. So I know the question was coming, Dr. Christie. First and foremost. I actually answered the question. I don't know if you noticed, but on your Christmas Eve show, you had, I think it was maybe about 2 years ago, like 2 years ago on your Christmas Eve show, you did like these pearls of wisdom from you're nodding because you know
I'm nodding because this year I said this one comes from Dr. Tamara Harris-Gilliam, and she hasn't been on the pod yet, but she will be, and here we are.
Here we are. I define productive joy as the energy I feel when the work is meaningful, right? And the relationships I build are genuine. For me, meaningful work requires that I lead with purpose, with intention, and with heart.
Yeah. Mic drop, right? And if we're not, then we are certainly not getting the best results, right?
No.
Not even close. Not even close. So, something I happen to know about you, Tam, is that you have coined a phrase, and I don't know if people can see the glitter on your shirt. I can see the glitter on your shirt, but you do have some glitter, a little bling, a little bling. And you can see a sign behind you that does tell us what glitter means. But why don't you walk us through glitter as it's an acronym, but how it can be utilized to help create some productive joy?
No problem. If you don't mind, I would love to just get everybody where I am and kind of catch them up. By the way, everybody, I know it might not seem like it, but this is really me stepping outside of my comfort zone to be on this podcast. And so was it 3 months ago when I decided to flick on my camera and turn my camera on and actually talk to my camera about this particular topic. I was sitting in my dining room and I decided to turn my camera on and just talk, right? This was sparked by some things that I was going through at the time and just some things that I know some other folks were going through. And it was really questioning, where you're like at that imposter syndrome. Is it me? Like, what is, I'm trying everything that I can. Do they not see what I'm trying to do here? Right. However, when I was visiting my cousin, I came in the door and he was like, you know what? You bring joy to every space you're in. He said, you're like glitter. Like you get some joy and you get some joy. Everybody gets some joy. And I got such a kick out of that. I laughed so hard about it, but it made me think, right? Like I am who I think I am. I'm exactly who I think I am. And it's nothing wrong with that, right? It is nothing wrong with that, whether people, like it or not. Went on to say in the video, right? Like no one gets to control how others experience you, right? How they perceive you. No matter how much you shine, how much joy you bring, you still gonna bother somebody's spirit. You gonna still bother somebody's spirit. And in that video, I say everything, people will say everything that glitters isn't gold. But guess what, baby? You still have value, right? No matter whether they can see it or not. Other people will say glitter's a mess. No one wants to clean up glitter. Y'all know how glitter it is. It sticks on everything. But no matter where glitter falls, it makes it sparkle wherever it lands, right? So you be the sparkle wherever you land. Nobody likes glitter is what they say. Oh, it's just gaudy. That's okay. Shine on anyway. You think glitter cares that nobody likes that it's shining? It don't care. It's glitter, right? So the people that don't like your light and don't like your shine, don't be consumed with that. Don't focus on what they would call your haters, right? Just be glitter. And so when I talked about what glitter meant, and I'm thinking about putting my coach's hat on because I want to illuminate spaces where people feel safe to grow, right? Safe to take a risk, be vulnerable and shine. So I was blending my research on I'm an acronym here, PS, because it's the long word. PS with my role as a coach. And so G stood for glow, right? Lead with authentic warmth. People can feel your authenticity. Performative stuff, put it away. Put it away. Lead with your authentic warmth because your presence sets that emotional tone for safety, right? I can feel safe in your voice. When you glow, not from like ego, but from genuine care, people pick up on that, right? It signals others that they can bring their full selves to the conversation, right? The L in glitter is for lift. I have learned that in coaching is not about fixing, right? It's about lifting. Psychological safety thrives when people feel believed in, right? Lifting others means affirming their strengths and their potential even before they see it themselves, right? How many of us have been on a project and we're doing all these other things that are not in our wheelhouse? Not to say we shouldn't be challenged, but they aren't our strength. If you're supervising anybody, find the strengths of your team and lean into those and let people lean into their strengths, right? I digress on that point. I inspire. Inspiration builds trust. When people feel connected to purpose and possibility, you can create a space where vulnerability feels like courage, right? Like not risk. Like I know I'm taking a risk, but it don't feel like it. Feel like I'm being, like the tiger, like the lion and the Wiz. Like I feel like I got my courage. Teams thrive, right? P.S. Culture doesn't just survive, right? A PS culture doesn't just survive. It thrives. It encourages experimentation, reflection, and self-compassion. I've been told so many times progress replaces perfection, like progress over that. And as someone with the superhero power of being ADHD, perfectionists can be our kryptonite.
Yeah.
Perfectionism can be our kryptonite. And sometimes I need people like Dr. Christie and other friends, my other sorors and sisters around me to say, girl, just move, right? So progress over perfection. T in glitter, the other T, because it's two, transform. Transformation happens when safety and challenge coexist, right? And that's okay.
Sure.
As a coach, you balance care with candor. So remember, have enough trust to go deep, but have enough to push to go forward. Getting here, but get them to move. E is for elevate. You lift the level of your dialogue. Ask questions to elevate the thinking. Listen with full intention. Like I said in my dissertation, listen with your whole body, right? Elevation means others, seeing others as capable and whole. And last but not least, radiate. PS is contagious. When you radiate with joy and calm and curiosity, you give other people permission to do the same, right? That ripple effect, it strengthens team culture and human connection. So thank you for allowing me to show what initially glitter means in that moment and how I'm using it in my coaching.
Dr. Tamara, that's just good stuff. I did listen to your vulnerable post and your moment of, okay, I just have to put this out into the world. And I couldn't stop smiling because I have known you for years and I have seen you figure out that I don't really care if you don't like glitter. I'm going to be glitter. I relate to that quite well because I'm a bold flavor. We all know this. And I have to own it because when I try not to be, it's just fake. And I don't think that creates the productive joy that we're all seeking. So tell us how people would find you if they wanted to be coached by you, if they wanted to know more about glitter, if they wanted to grow with you. What's the best way for them to find you?
The best way for right now on social media, catch me on LinkedIn. And if you're not a LinkedIn person, you definitely can email me. It's going to be my last name, GILLIAM. Period, my first name, TAMARA @gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, and you do have you're doing all kinds of wonderful things on LinkedIn. And I know the next time you are on here, you're going to have a book and a website and all of the things, because I'm just going to go ahead and speak that into existence. I know you're still recovering from writing a dissertation because that is a whole process that nobody needs to live through more than once. That's for sure. But ultimately, what I hope our listeners have heard is that, one, it's okay to be yourself. Two, it's actually when you can be your most shiny. And then three, you don't have to do it alone. And that's what I think is beautiful, is that you are helping people walk through this process. So thank you for being willing to share all of this fabulousness on Productive Joy. I do have some rapid fire questions. Would you be willing to answer them?
I guess so.
Okay. I know this one's giving you some angst, but you've heard lots of answers because you've listened to lots of episodes. So, question number one, what's your definition of fun?
But that definition of fun is anything that is your passion. Fun for me is dancing. I love music, love listening to music and dancing myself, and that's fun for me. Whatever is of your heart, right? Follow your joy, follow your heart.
Love it. How do you know that you are showing up as your authentic self?
When I go anyway, right? Like when I am just being myself, like even scared, like even when I'm unsure, even when I'm scared, like momentum over certainty. I just
Mm.
do me.
Momentum over certainty. I'm writing that down. That's good stuff right there. Okay. How do you channel your best self on your worst days?
I had a recent encounter with Paulette Mundy. She was on a Spotify thing. And one of the things she was on your worst day, she reminded me, don't question your worth, right? Don't give up or throw in the towel. Don't admit defeat. Watch your mouth in this season. Your destiny is yet unfolding. You're not overlooked. You're not discounted. Your time has not passed. Your ladder shall be greater. And in those moments, I am reminded it's okay. It's just a moment. This too shall pass.
Mm-hmm. Oh, power in those words, my friend. Power in those words. Well, you've been delightful. You have dropped all kinds of gold all over. I'm picturing it gold glitter. I mean, it could be silver glitter, I guess, or it could be any color, but I'm going to picture it gold because that's what you've
It's
dropped.
all colored. Keep the pink and purple and all kinds of things.
All the colors. And you've really given us a psychologically safe space by being vulnerable yourself and by showing up as your authentic self, which I am so appreciative of. And by nature, people can only really hold on to one major idea in 30 minutes. So, what's the one major thing that you want to leave people with today?
Just be glitter.
Couldn't say it any better. All right. And so, listeners, first of all, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tamara, for being here, for being who you are, for showing up and giving of yourself. You could have kept it hidden, but you didn't. And I'm really proud of you for that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for
Yeah.
challenging me and making me get outside of my comfort zone. And
And
everybody, this is proof positive. You can do it too.
that's right, 100%. And listeners, I need you to grab onto something because if you don't change practice because of what you've heard, nothing changes. So I need you to grab onto one of the nuggets. Maybe you're going to glow or lift or inspire or thrive or transform or elevate or radiate. Or maybe you're just going to dig a little deeper into psychological safety, or maybe you're going to call Dr. Tamara and see about getting coached. Whatever you decide to do with this space, I need you to do something because otherwise this was a waste of your time and I don't believe in wasting your time. But I need you to grab something and figure out a way today to turn fun into action.